How well do you know the USA? From landmarks to cities, this quiz will put your knowledge to the test. Whether you're a citizen or just love trivia, this one's for you. Let's get started. Which US president is featured on the $1 bill? Yeah, it's C. George Washington. Which city is known as the Windy City? Correct, it's B. Chicago. What US state is home to Yellowstone National Park? That would be B. Wyoming. Which US state is this? Yeah, correct. It's Colorado. What is the national bird of the United States? That's right, A. The bald eagle. What is the largest state in the US by area? Correct, it's B. Alaska. Which US landmark is this? That's right, it's the Cloud Gate. What is the smallest state in the US by area? Correct again, it's C. Rhode Island. What is the longest river in the United States? Yeah, it's A. Missouri River. What is the capital of Nevada? That's right, C. Carson City. Guess the US state. The answer is New York. What year did the United States declare independence? Yeah, B. In 1776. What US state is home to Harvard University? That would be C. Massachusetts. What is the name of the first US president? Correct, it's C. George Washington. What is the capital of California? It's B. Sacramento. Which US state has the nickname the Land of 10,000 Lakes? Correct, C. Minnesota. What river forms a natural border between Texas and Mexico? Yeah, that's right. C. Rio Grande. Which US state is this? Good one, yeah, it's Illinois. What historic event took place on December 7th, 1941? That was B, the Pearl Harbor attack. Which landmark do we have here? Yeah, it's the Gateway Arch. Which U.S. state is known as the Garden State? That would be A, New Jersey. What is the tallest mountain in the United States? Correct, it's B, Denali. Which U.S. city is known as the birthplace of jazz? Nice, yeah, it's A, New Orleans. Which U.S. state was the last to join the Union? The answer is A, Hawaii. Do you know which U.S. state this is? Yeah, correct. It's Michigan. What is the capital of Illinois? It is B, Springfield. Which U.S. state has the most volcanoes? Yep, correct. It's B, Alaska. What famous U.S. landmark was a gift from France? That's right, C, the Statue of Liberty. Which U.S. president is featured on Mount Rushmore alongside Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln? Correct, B, Theodore Roosevelt. Guess the state. The answer is Alabama. What is the name of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution? Yeah, B, the Bill of Rights. Which U.S. city is home to the Liberty Bell? The answer is C, Philadelphia. Guess the landmark. It's the Wright Brothers National Memorial. What is the capital of Texas? You got it, it's A, Austin. What is the oldest city in the United States? It's A, St. Augustine. What U.S. state is home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? That's right, B, Ohio. state do we have here? You got it, it's North Carolina. What is the capital of Hawaii? That would be C, Honolulu. What U.S. state is home to the Alamo? Nice one, yeah. C, Texas. Which U.S. state is known as the Bluegrass State? Yeah, it's B, Kentucky. Guess which U.S. state this is? Nice one, yeah, it's Ohio. What U.S. state is home to the city of Seattle? That would be B, Washington. Do you know this famous U.S. landmark? This is the Space Needle. What U.S. state is home to the city of Baltimore? Correct answer is A, Maryland. Which U.S. state is known as the Sunshine State? That's correct, it's C, Florida. Which city has the highest population in the United States? Nice, yeah, it's B, New York City. What is the name of the largest freshwater lake in the United States? Yep, it's A, Lake Superior. Which landmark do you have here? The answer is Plymouth Rock. What is the name of the U.S. National Park located in Utah known for its unique rock formations? That's right, it's C, Arches National Park. Now, which U.S. state is this? Correct again, it's Kentucky. Tell me in the comments how many questions you got right. And if you want to see a part 2 to this, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for playing.